call the roll, please?
Counselor Andronico. Counselor Kane.
Present.
Counselor DeBona.
Present.
Counselor Harris.
Present.
Counselor Mahoney.
Present.
Counselor McCarthy. Counselor Palmucci.
Present.
Counselor Phelan.
Present.
President Liang.
Present.
7 members. I did see Counselor Andronico on, but
Present. Excuse me there.
thank you. 8 members. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Can everyone just put themselves on mute for a few moments in honor of all the women and men currently serving both here and abroad? Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, could you read the open meeting law, please?
Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible.
Thank you. And in accordance with Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, signed by Governor Charles D. Baker on June 16, 2021, extending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, the Quincy City Council will be convening via remote video conferencing services that will air on Quincy Access Television, QATV channel QATV 9 Government Access. Madam Clerk, first item on the agenda, please.
First item is 2021-114, an order of a nomination and election for the city auditor for a 3-year term.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to now accept nominations for a city auditor, and I'd like to recognize Councilor Kane.
Thank you, Madam President. It is my distinct honor to nominate tonight the current auditor, Madam Susan O'Connor. It's been my distinct pleasure to work with Susan over the last 6 years that I've served on the City Council. She is a friend to human and animals alike, as evidenced by her sojourns to Aruba to rescue animals. And obviously a person like that you can trust as much as I do with finances, as I have over the last 6 years. She is an immense resource to the City Council. She knows the ins and outs of not only the municipal finance function, but obviously the auditing function, which go hand in hand, which is why I always ask to sit next to her, because she has all the details relevant to the discussions at play during our City Council sessions and all the appropriations that go with it. So it's my pleasure to nominate Susan O'Connor for another 3-year term, and I hope that my colleagues will support me in that vote. Thank you.
Thank you,
I second the
Councilor.
motion. No, I second the motion.
I'd like to recognize Councilor Palmucci, please. Go ahead, Councilor Palmucci.
You can third it, Harris. Yeah, it's. I wanted to second the nomination. Susan's done a fantastic job. Actually, it was in my first term that we created the position of auditor, and I remember it was a hotly contested issue. I want to say it was a 5-4 vote to create the position for auditor in the first place. And I voted to support it, which is why I bring it up. But some wanted to have an outside firm conduct an audit on an annual basis. And so I know any counselor serving now knows and can imagine what a difference in experience that would be if we had one consultant who came before the City Council on an annual basis and said, here's what I came up with the audit. That's not what we have. What we have is a integral part, I would say, of the City Council, and someone who's and Sue has been the only person in the position. She's proven to be someone who's instrumental in us, the body, being able to keep our eyes on the comings and goings of money, and to be better representatives for the residents of Quincy. I think it goes without saying that she's a competent and caring person. She really cares about the city. She cares about the work, the important work we do in government. She's been very helpful to me, and I trust to all counselors behind the scenes. Whenever you have a question, Sue will get right back to you, follow up and get right back to you. And she's been One of the concerns originally was that an auditor would have a difficult relationship with the administration. They would serve as, they would be kind of someone who criticizes the administration. And I think taking that criticism in mind when she first started the position, Susan has done the exact opposite. If anything, I think the administration would agree that she has been cooperative. So while she shares information with us and while she serves us, she's cooperative in the execution of her duties as it relates to the administration as well. So I can't overstate the importance of information, especially in our form of government, where we have a strong mayor form of government, where some things may happen that we don't have any actual vote on, but with our eyes and ears on the city's checkbook, in Susan, we have a great asset. So it's my pleasure to second her nomination for another 3 years.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for city auditor? Okay, seeing none, I will close the nominations for city auditor. So we have a motion made by Councilor Kane, seconded by Councilor Palmucci. I do want to recognize some of my colleagues who would like to speak as well before we go to a vote. First, we'll go to Councilor Phelan.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to say a few words with Sue. I've worked with Sue both on the city level and now on the city council level, and her knowledge and understanding of Munis, which is basically the software we use here, is she put together most of the chart of accounts when it came here and originally. So she's just been invaluable so far. She was invaluable as a city department head. Now she's invaluable as in my job as a city councilor. And she's also a Ward 5 resident. So I'm just really glad to vote for Sue. She's done an excellent job, and I've seen it from both sides, and she's done a tremendous job on both sides. So I'm very happy to vote this forward.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from my colleagues before we move to a vote? Okay, Councilor DeBona.
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to say I'm happy to support Susan. She's been a pleasure and a delightful person up there with us. I know over the last 6 years, it's been a great experience talking to her. And when I was sitting on the well on the other side next to her, two seats down, getting the conversation. So we'll see with the next term, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. I'm happy to support you, Susan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor DeLone. I'd like to recognize Councilor Harris.
Good evening. Thank you. It's funny. That's why I jumped in real fast. I didn't mean to jump across the esteemed Councilor Brian Palmucci when I was trying to second the motion, because Councilor Kane mentioned the fact that and a lot of folks I was with were taking rescue dogs, and I happened to see this past October Sue and her family down and in Aruba, and it just speaks to how much of a good person that Susan is, and you know what, we need more good people in positions of such as Susan in government, and of course I'm going to vote yes for Susan, and I'm going to say it first, congratulations, because I know it's going to unanimous. So Sue, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Does anybody else have any other question or comment? Okay. Susan, I just want to quickly say, if I could, professionally, you have been an incredible mentor and a great friend. Just everything I've learned over the years with the budget and spending, no matter how big or small it is, you've always been there to answer the questions. And even when I ask you to get me, ridiculous, numbers on spreadsheets and how many pages it all is, you always get it in a timely fashion, and it's accurate. And no matter what the question is, no matter what time it is, you're always available to help. And especially this, these last 2 years as council president during a pandemic, it's been incredibly helpful to have you by my side in making decisions as to, how we're meeting, when we're meeting, making sure that we're doing the best that we can to all of our friends in the council office, and it was done with your guidance along the way. So I really appreciate you, and personally, you're just an amazing human being as well. I'm so honored to be able to call you a friend. So yeah, I'm really excited to have you be nominated and elected again tonight. And with that, because there are no other nominations, we can do a voice vote. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Any opposed? All right. Congratulations, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to say quickly, I really appreciate your support. I enjoy working with every single one of you. And I pledge every year that I am in this position that I am looking out for the best interest of the taxpayer. And I look at things objectively. And if we all work together, then we can make Quincy a great place. Thank you.
Here.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Madam Clerk, number 2, please.
2021-095, Order 2021, Redistricting and Reprecincting Plan Revised.
Waive the reading, move approval.
Okay, we have a motion to approve by Councilor Palmucci. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Kane. Any questions or comments on this before we move forward?
If I could on the motion.
Please, go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you. Nicole, I don't know if folks appreciate the amount of effort that you have put in over the past, I don't know, when was the last time we voted on this? About a month ago? Is that when it was? So for folks who don't know, Nicole, Madam Clerk, worked very hard, as was noted by many of my colleagues, on the maps that took into account the new census information. She recalibrated the districts. Some districts lost certain neighborhoods or streets, and we rearranged them so that they were more balanced based on development and people moving. Unfortunately, despite her great effort, the state legislature, in their discretion, passed a statewide map that essentially ruined the maps that Nicole had created. And what it created in one instance, and it wasn't just limited to Quincy, this was a problem across the state. What it created in Quincy, in one particular precinct in Ward 4, was a triple precinct. It was a triple, right? Not a double, right, Nicole? Yeah, it was a triple precinct, meaning you would go, a voter would go in to vote, and there would be 3 different polling places for their one precinct. So they would have 3 different ballots, precinct A, precinct B, and precinct C of the same precinct. I can't imagine trying to administer an election that has that as an issue. I mean, imagine that. I think going into vote is a little bit confusing enough for some people, and making sure that the right people have the right ballots. It's just a logistical nightmare, and unfortunately, that's what we were saddled with in Quincy by the legislature. Luckily, we have Nicole, who is excellent at her job, and she was able to, again, go back and recalibrate the districts based on the wards and precincts based on what the legislature had provided, and that's what we have tonight. So as much as in my heart and out of spite, I want to vote no against this map, just out of principle, because I liked the other maps better, I will certainly vote to support this, and I would urge my colleagues as well. Essentially, it's what we're stuck with, and it's better than what would be done to us if we didn't vote. But I think everybody can be thankful of the work that Nicole put in. I mean, personally, above and beyond that she put in to create these maps and make them something reasonable, turn them from something that was just completely unreasonable to something that was reasonable. So a deep and hearty thank you, Nicole, and I'll certainly begrudgingly be voting for these maps tonight.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other questions or comments on this item? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, just very quickly, I just want to thank you for your poise and professionalism. That's it. I know what you've gone through with all of this, and it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you know you need to get things done, and you're just going to put your head down and get things done. But really, you've been nothing but professional throughout this whole process, so thank you. Could you call the roll, please?
Certainly will. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Councilor Andronico.
Yes.
Counselor Kane,
Yes.
Counselor DeBona,
Yes.
Counselor Harris,
Yes.
Counselor Mahoney,
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy, Counselor Palmucci,
Yes.
Counselor Phelan,
Yes.
President Liang,
Yes.
8 members.
Okay, the item passes. Thank you. All right, so we'll move on to the approval of previous meeting minutes, and this will be for November 8th and November 15th. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion
To approve.
Motion to approve, I believe, by Councilor
Second.
Phelan, second by Councilor DeBona. Any questions on the meeting minutes? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The meeting's passed. Communication and reports from the mayor, other city officers, and city boards. Seeing none, unfinished business and preceding meeting. Moving right along, reports of committees. I'd like to go to ordinance. Councilor Mahoney?
Thank you very much. So we do have some ordinances that were passed. All of these traffic requests were advertised in the 11/18/21 Quincy Sun, and positive recommendation has been made by the ordinance committee. So Ward 1, Councilor McCarthy, 2021-110, add a 4-way stop to Malvern Street and Babcock Street. We have a positive recommendation.
Thank you. Do we have a second for approval?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on this? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item passes.
Moving on to Ward 2, Councilor Andronico, 2021-111, add a no parking anytime on the south and west side of Burns Avenue from Charles Mount Avenue on Quincy Avenue. Positive recommendation. Move to positive
Do we
recommendation.
have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Andronico. Any questions on this? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item passes.
Moving on to Ward 3, Councilor Kane, 2021-112, add stop sign on Holbrook Road westbound at Amesbury Street. Positive recommendation.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Kane. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item passes.
And moving on to the last one, Ward 4, Councilor Palmucci, 2021-113, add a 4-way stop sign to Fairchild and Bennington Street. Positive recommendation.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second by Councilor Palmucci. Any questions on this item? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item passes. All right, you said that was the last one, Councilor Mahoney?
That's the last one. Yep.
Thank you. Moving on to presentation of petitions, memorials, and remonstrance. I'd like to recognize Councilor DeBona.
Thank you, Madam President. It's a heavy heart to say that Joe Brill had passed away on Thanksgiving, November 25th this past week. He was raised in Howes Neck and a graduate of Quincy High School in 1974. He was also a United States Navy veteran, retired from the Delta Airlines for 30 years. Joe was about giving back to the neighborhood, giving back to the community. He was a commander of the Sons of the American Legion, Squadron 294. He was also a dual member for Morisset Post as well. He was very involved with the Flags for Veterans Island and Ford Square and Harvey Saltwater Fishing Club Vets for Day. Joe was a big Red Sox fan and was well known for loved by everyone at Fenway. He attended many, many games. And the weird thing was he suffered a massive heart attack in Fenway in September of 2013. And then he threw out the first pitch almost a year later at Fenway. So Joe thanked a lot of his first responders who saved his life. He lived over here till 2021. He also dedicated a lot of time to the Little League and many organizations in the city of Quincy. If you knew Joe, he liked to do these corny jokes and do some funny things. He used to slap your hand like this and then come up and hit his head like this. And I used to do it to my little boys all the time. And it's kind of funny. We won't forget that. But please keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. His wake was Sunday, and his funeral was this morning. So we're going to miss Joe. Very good friend of mine. I know a lot of you have known him over the years. So keep his family in his thoughts and prayers. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor DeBona. It's definitely a huge loss of the city. Councilor Palmucci?
I just want to echo what Councilor DeBona said about Joe. He really was just a giver. You know, he was one of those people who would do things, right? He wouldn't just complain about stuff, he'd step up and do them. I remember over the summer at one point, I was with my kids at Kincaid Park, and I see a guy rustling out of the bushes, like carrying a bag, and I thought it was like a homeless guy, like kind of that he was like coming out of the bushes like he'd been sleeping there. And I was like, oh no, homeless people are camping out here. And as I got closer, it was Joe Brill, and he was just cleaning up trash. He had a plastic bag. He was picking up trash around Kincaid Park just to keep it clean. And then every other time I was there, I think I saw him. He would chastise people who didn't have I don't know what you call them, waste bags, who had their dogs with them, and he kept them in his pocket, and he would just give them out. And he said, "Oh, we want to keep the park clean. Here's a waste bag." He was just a real giver, and I think that's why he acclimated so well with the Red Sox community. He at some point had volunteered to pick up Babe Ruth's daughter for an event with the Sox, and then I don't know if she liked his corny dad jokes or what, but whenever she came to town for any type of event, which was relatively frequently, Joe was always her chauffeur, and so they got very close, and he enjoyed that very much, being a huge baseball fan. But he'll certainly be missed. Misses his big smile and his giving heart.
Thank you. Any other presentation of petitions, memorials, and remonstrances? Councilmember Minchin, go ahead.
Yes. I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody that was involved in the first Ward 4, or first in a long time, Ward 4 community tree lighting that happened last night. There was a lot of folks who played a key role in it. We had about, 150 people show up, a lot of kids and families, and it was a great community event. So I just wanted to thank Mayor Koch and the administration, the Parks Department, TPAL, QPD, QFD, the brownie lady who brought brownies, Donut King provided hot chocolate and donuts, Leo Martin, who helped provide some parking, one of his properties, and Veronica Bertrand, who really spearheaded the whole operation, along with Councilor Mahoney, and I know Kevin Mahoney provided some volunteer services as well. So I just want to thank all those who were involved. It was really a community-led type effort. Councilor Mahoney and I just followed orders. We did what we were told from Veronica Bertrand, who wanted it to happen and willed it into happening. So hopefully it's the start of a great tradition in Ward 4, but I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody who had a role in it. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any other presentation of petitions, memorials, or remonstrance? Councilman Mahoney, go ahead.
I just want to add, not to be specific, but I just wanted to thank Bo Levine, who was a representative from the Park Department. He did a great job, and he was also at the Ward 2 tree lighting as well. And it was a great event. And I don't know if I heard, you might have broke up the barbershop also was a key player.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that too. And we're looking forward to it becoming an annual event. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other presentations of petitions, memorial, and remonstrance? We can move on. All right. Motions, orders, and resolutions. Okay. Scheduling of committee meetings and public hearings. All right. So our next meeting will be on Monday, December 13th. We'll have a public hearing for the tax rate, as well as a public hearing for a couple of items in ordinance, followed by the regularly scheduled city council meeting, the last of the year. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion adjourned.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.